Yeah, well, Tim is a really good friend of mine, and he makes me laugh because he knows how I love data and how important it is, and he loves absolutely taking the piss out of the fact that he doesn't use any data, and yet he wins countless races, and I love that about Tim. And if you get a chance, listen to that podcast because it really delves into no matter how fit you are, if you don't have the ability to race tactically, then you're never going to win any bike races. So you need the two key things. You need to be a tactician and you need to have the fitness. And even he proved that some races he wasn't that fit, but he was so incredibly clever as a bike rider that he would win.
And so tough.
Yeah, mentally tough. And he would, you've experienced sitting side by side with him, not saying much, and the power is slowly ramping up as each 100 meter goes past and not saying anything, not giving an inch, not losing a millimeter on the wheel beside you. And that's the sort of little mind games he would play, and I just love the way he goes about it. And he loves his bike riding, and he loves to ride his bike. That's the thing that stands out to me is whether he was racing or not, he just would, go out for a 5 or 6 hour ride by himself, and just, totally love the experience. And the fact that he races and does well is an added bonus. But it was a reminder that, yes, you need to prepare properly. Yes, you need to have all the information at your disposal. But if you don't understand how to race, it doesn't matter. You won't be successful.
Yeah, he's a real crack up sometimes. This isn't my biggest takeaway, but two things stand out from him that just make me laugh every time. And after a ride, he'll say to you, "Oh, Jerry, I think I got a power record today. I got 14 watts." Because he has no reference, because he's never looked at power, so he has no reference of whether he should be at 150 or 300, or so he just says random numbers like 12, and it always cracks me up. And then also what you said about his love for cycling, he says you could not pay me to ride indoors on Zwift. He said, like, just if I'm not going to ride outdoors, I'm not riding. So, and it goes totally against a lot of our principles at TriVelo. We're so much about data, so much about power. Training indoors is so good for you, but he's totally opposite, and we love that.
Yeah, and look, he calls the power meter a wattometer, which even makes me laugh. And he says his little bit of cord that I doesn't know where to plug it into the wall, so I can't ride Zwift. So one day we'll get him on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't want him on our Zwift races because
he's too good.
And this is my key takeaway from him is that he's ruthlessly competitive when it's time to race, when he's got a goal, whether it's a race or a race further ahead. He's the most competitive person you'll ever meet. And he told the story of not just how competitive he was as a pro, but a couple of years ago when the World Masters Champs was held in Perth, and he decided he was going to have a crack, and he ended up winning. And he just spoke about the fact that once he decided he was going to race it, he said, "Did I miss a 6-hour ride every single weekend or both days on the weekend, for 12 or 16 weeks leading into that? No, no matter what the weather was, no matter how cold it was in the middle of winter in Victoria, he turned up every weekend and got that ride done." And that was just an example of how committed he was to putting himself in the best shape. And he's not just accidentally fit. Yeah, that was my big takeaway.
Yeah, and as funny as he is as a character, the serious side, because I was with him in Perth when he performed, and it was one of the special days to be around him, seeing him win that race. And I knew the preparation he had done, and he had trained the house down, and he left no stone unturned. And as jovial and as joke that he makes about it all, that was the side that got him the result, and his ability to implement the tactics in that race. And he won the bunch sprint by 20 meters. And that's pretty unusual to win a bunch sprint by that much. I mean, he's an incredible sprinter. He's an incredible bike rider, but his tactician methods were just spot on. He knew the body language of all the other riders, who was strong, who to be, where to position himself, when, what the timing was for the sprint and what he needed to do. And execution was brilliant.